In all of my honesty, behind the glaze of my faux composure, smeared by the humidity of anxiety and the fog surrounding my psychology, the mystery of a life lived while in grip of a timid sword, the chords and keys of emotions hidden behind display, sit in angst to sing this poem, the ballad of oddity and the tale to my odyssey, but brutally put to pen and paper, shakes my demeanor to admit that I am scared. I'm scared of where I live, enslaved to the chains of poverty. My home lay buried in the shadow of a dystopia. I'm scared of the people who reside in dwellings around me. The stench of violence seeps out of their pores, their movements and actions masked by the scent of civility. I'm scared of what creeps in the shadows, scheming eyes from the remnants of desolate residents, tickles the sense of unease onto my common countenance. I'm scared that hate is harbored toward me, driven by men whom know nothing but the whispers of untruths, words that may never settle in the current of discourse. I'm scared to be left in my own company. The infamy, my self-destructive melodies bellow, swallow the hunger to reside without pride in mind, unable to hide inside as the echoes of chaos wail against the walls of isolation. I'm scared that I may not make it out unscathed. The constant calls to act on aggression lay waste to all of my passive passions. Placid is the battlefield of modernity. Yet, in the permanent footholds of society, in the turbulent trenches of conformity, I lay in the wastes of doctrine. I'm scared of all the secrets kept entombed from the view of laymen. Our sights condemned to narrow rivers, sinners of wisdom, servants to dissonance, damned to ignorance, as the wicked are crowned beneath our feet, enshrined in the enamel of innocence. I'm scared, for the passage of saintly decree has lost meaning to me. I forsake on the journey of faith, the crusade of the holy, to lands burnt in the doctrine of scriptures, sit in the whisper of cataclysm. I'm scared that meaning in endless expansion died when I sanctioned my compassion for venom cloaked in mystique and wealth. The pit of pessimism inside a heart of stone glows in the growth of grime and gold, leading me tenderly so to a pharaoh's peril, buried with the fortune to warden over into oblivion. I'm scared that the dishonored were conquered, vilified heroes, whose steps were swallowed by the hollow sorrows of the youth, espoused to hate at sight and on whisper. The cults of authority, in their enormity and impurity, soured the trust of a skeptic, and sweetened the benefits of belief to a disciple. I deepen my descent of resentment to the hive of dogma. I'm scared that the aura of war has worsened to the winks of the paranoid, as those who mourn from tyranny bellow with the worn-out echoes and cries that quake and ache of the weeping nights spent in debris. I'm scared that dawn may never see the light of day again, as nightfall is all that is known throughout the glen of idealists, valleys for romantics, a sovereign notion, unknown to realists, an art nouveau emotion, dreamers who wish upon the fall of dusk, whom settle on the hilltops in angst and suspense, forlornly aware that dawn will never rise again. I'm scared that wealth, in all of her power, only bolsters the rot within, and sours the virtue in man. Keen is his hunger to devour his own modesty. The valor he carries in mind sustains the weight of hate in his heart. The charm of one who reeks of cowardice seeks to mask his pretension for protection. A man at his weakest runs into the arms of debauchery, open to plots of grandeur and opulence, obscured in reason and cured in the depths of perversion. The lack of candor in his words corrupts the actions his fortune empowers. I'm scared because all that I dream about is the promise of California. I'm swimming in the paranoia of unattainable fame, being lost at sea with the sunken dreamers who'd never known the warmth of a main stage spotlight and the cold shimmers of the icy limelight, looking ahead to the voyage of glory, in the coy countenance distinct with discomfort, clutching upon the pearls of celebrity, glazed in the haze of royal nobility. I'm scared that the bells tuned to a mind clouded in psychosis will ring ever slightly in my ears, wailing against my judgment, abruptly ending my hours spent in the daylight, conscripting me to the barracks of an imbalanced war, enraged with the panic of mania, whilst the doors to my sovereignty slowly creeping shut in the late hours of the night. And as the echoes of solitude creep to my despair, the light that hope once held in the rays of midday now shower me in the utter dismay of an umbra-soaked crevasse of isolation. I'm scared, for I tire from the loneliness I bear in contagion. A commune in bondage, chronic is the notion eroding our cheer into a weary fear, that in tandem we lack comfort and connection. Bound by the embraces of shallow faces in worry, isolation births the chaos of affection, ailing reason with the elixir of malevolence, a fever of rigor, content to sever the bonds of longing in which are foreign to the wards of the sickly. I'm scared that I will never wake from this nightmare, deep within the stasis of psychosis, dormant as the fog of scorn and torment stain the fabrics of my reality with uncertainty and horror, forever cautious in the wake of today and the promise of tomorrow. I'm scared that what rules over me is a fallacy, one unchangeable in circumstance, unshakable in disposition, and unforgivingly true to the testament of my fragility.